Well, good morning, everyone. Grace and peace to you. Happy Wednesday. My name is Paul Dezay, pastor at Sandy Hook UMC here in Columbus, Indiana. A rainy Wednesday for you. So I have a devotion to share with you, as well as some announcements for what's going on at Sandy Hook during this Holy Week. Yes, it's Holy Week. Today would be Holy Wednesday. Holy Wednesday is also known as Spy Wednesday. Or even Betrayal Wednesday, because in Holy Week, this is the day that we kind of acknowledge that Judas betrayed Jesus. And last week, we kind of talked about Judas and his betrayal. Another aspect of Holy Wednesday, specifically in Holy Week, is the idea that Jesus is praying for God's will to be done and not his will. And so I'd like to kind of talk about that idea today of surrendering to God's will, for God's agenda, for God's reign, and not our own. Jesus was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he was praying, knowing betrayal was coming, knowing crucifixion was coming, knowing that he was going to be assassinated as a political rival king to Rome, and that idea of surrendering. I mean, the words are, "My Father, if it's possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will," is this acknowledgement of complete surrender. Paul in Philippians chapter 2 talks about emptying himself. Jesus emptied himself and took on the role of a servant, the lowest possible role, willing to lay down his life for everyone in the world. And, he washed the feet of the disciples, even Judas, the one who betrayed him. So here in the garden, he surrenders his will to the will of the Father. And because of that, Jesus participated in the healing of the world. By his stripes, we are healed. And we'll talk about that on Good Friday. But in this garden, the Garden of Gethsemane, he did what Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden didn't do. Adam and Eve took matters into their own hand, made a choice to be king themselves, and kind of set a ripple effect that we are all still dealing with. The dis-ease of creation, the dis-ease of our heart, this disease that we call sin, right? And so Jesus, in a different garden, not the Garden of Eden, the Garden of Gethsemane, makes a different choice than Adam and Eve did in the Garden of Eden. And in this garden, he made the choice to surrender his own will to the will of the Father. And I believe this Holy Week we are stepping into the shoes of Jesus. We are finding ourselves in a garden, and we are confronted with, will we follow Adam and Eve and making choices that put us in the center of all things, or do we follow Jesus and make decisions that put God in the center of all things? Judas Iscariot followed in the path of Adam and Eve. May we follow in the path of Jesus. So on this Spy Betrayal Wednesday, may we follow in Jesus's footsteps. Holy Week, that's what we're in right now, right? So there's a lot of heavy stuff going on, but this all is preparation for Easter and resurrection. So some announcements. Sandy Hook stuff. This coming Thursday, which would be tomorrow, is Maundy Thursday. Maundy Thursday is taken from the word commandment. Maundy means commandment, where Jesus gave the commandment to love one another the way that he has loved us. And so this new commandment is exhibited in the washing of feet and the Lord's Supper. And so we're gathering over at Petersville with Rebecca Milne. We know her, don't we? I know her for sure. Kind of seen her throughout the years. We're going to her church at 6:30 for a combined service. We'll take communion together. There'll be some scriptures and some songs, and it'll be a beautiful time together with the two churches. 6:30 Petersville. It's about 5 miles down the road. On Friday, Good Friday, we're having our annual Tenebrae service at 7 o'clock here at Sandy Hook. If you've never been part of a Tenebrae service, it's where we have 7 candles and we say one of the sayings of Jesus from the cross, we blow out a candle, we sing a song, and we repeat that until all 7 candles are extinguished and the room gets dark. And it's a reflection on Jesus giving his life for us and the darkness of Good Friday. But we have a little surprise, hopefully, that will make this year a little bit different than the last 2 years. But I really look forward to Tenebrae on Friday with you all. Easter Sunday, we have 2 services, normal times, 8:45 and 11. Traditional services, 8:45, contemporaries at 11. We have donuts and coffee in between at 10. We have a couple surprises. Hopefully it all works out, but it's going to be a very special day. We're kicking off a new sermon series on Easter called The Butterfly Effect. So the idea of butterfly is a metaphor. Butterfly is going to be woven into the service, as well as our Eastertide series is all about butterflies and the idea of the butterfly effect. If you've never heard of the butterfly effect, it's this idea that one motion, like the wing of a butterfly, can cause a ripple effect across the world and even cause a hurricane on the other side of the planet. And there's a lot there to consider during Eastertide as we take a look at the early church and how they loved one another and loved the world, and the world was changed. The butterfly effect. Let's see. The youth group is having a few dine-in opportunities that raise funds for their summer trip. They're 75% done with their fundraising efforts towards their goals. So big, big, big thank you. And they have this Jaggers, which is on the other side of town, on April 11th, which is actually this coming Tuesday, anywhere from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. 20% of your purchase will be donated to the Sandy Hook Youth Group for their conference. And you must mention Sandy Hook or have the flyer that has the information on there when you order so that they can get their goal. And the flyers are here at the church. They're also in the newsletter, so you can show that on the when you order or print it out if you'd like. So big thank you to all of you who are helping with the youth group reach their goal. Men's Lunch Out is Thursday, April 20th at Rhodes Diner, and that takes place at 1 o'clock, and it's over on 2nd Street. All guys are invited. We went there last month, and it was fantastic. It's great. See, save the date. May 7th, we're having Vision Sunday, and they're going to have a food truck lunch afterwards. It's going to be a very, very special Sunday, which I share the vision that the Vision team has heard from God, and it's super exciting where we are headed as a church. So mark that date on your calendar, May the 7th, Sunday, combined service, 11 a.m., just one service with picnic lunch to follow. And then there is a serve a meal opportunity through Love Chapel, and this will take place on Wednesday, May 16th from 4:30 to 6, and it'll be at Memorial Baptist Church, and the information will be in the newsletter. You can sign up for that at the Next Steps table and email the office. There is a new Wednesday night study taking place at the end of April in a run for 6 weeks called Sacred Rhythms, and it's practicing spiritual disciplines that bring hope and transformation into your life. And Christy Gorbett is facilitating this 6-week course. You can sign up at the Next Steps table or contact the office, and that class will take place down in the fellowship rooms down by the kitchen on Wednesday evenings starting the last Wednesday of April, going for 6 weeks. It's called Sacred Rhythms. So that's going on. There's a lot of other stuff in the newsletter, so please make sure to check that out. I hope you have a great Holy Week. Stay dry, and grace and peace to you. Take care.